My Govanen Melonin, and well met indeed. I am Arachea Galadrathan, and welcome back to Middle-earth as we continue on as the Ar-Adûnâim. Today is a sad day. Sad, reflective day. For today is the last week of the Ar-Adûnâim. Whatever happens this coming Saturday morning, I will live stream the final episode of the Ar-Adûnâim. And they will be replaced, therefore, on the 29th of this month, November. 29th of November 2021. This campaign will be replaced with the rise of the reunited kingdom of Gondor and Arnor. Which many people have been waiting for, myself included. I am looking forward to that, and I've decided that the Ar-Adûnâim should be the one to get the axe, because let's be honest, we have pretty much won it. Dol Amroth are now absolutely up against it on the back foot. We've got Barad-dûn, we've got Tirith-Oros, we've got Halthanur, we are going to get Imlad Khanan, we've allied with Harad, so they're now on side as well. Dol Amroth are now trapped in a bowl, and we are standing above it with a large fish hook-style knife. They have nowhere to run, and once they are dead and gone, and it's over. Now, Isengard might attack us once Gondor finally falls, who we are also hammering the last nail in for. And if Isengard do attack us at that point, then so be it. We're not going to fight them. It'll just be a horrible slog, and that's the reason why I'd rather end it. Whereas the Khazad-dûm campaign, if you tuned into the live stream this last Saturday just gone, we have just been attacked by Angmar. So we now have 3 prominent enemies, all baying for our blood, and something that many people have already noticed in the comments, and I also noticed myself, and thought, oh bugger, that's going to be such a ball ache, is that we as Khazad-dûm own this area around here, and we are bordered by Angmar just here in the Weather Hills. So Angmar are going to be attacking in Gundabad and in our primary secure farming regions, the moneymakers. So I decided Khazad-dûm should carry on and the Ar-Adûnâim should end. Also because the Ar-Adûnâim, we are sort of venturing into possibly fighting. Like we've got to keep Dol Guldur at bay, and there's a crossover there. Whereas the reunited kingdom, Dol Guldur will probably never feature into our campaign. Maybe possibly when we join with Gondor. But anyway, that's the decision that's been made. So now, as the Ar-Adûnâim, I will then do an intro in the next episode, and it will be the final intro. That gives it a bit more pomp and circumstance than I would like, but I'll rattle one out, and hopefully it does it justice as it being the final one. So, our plan then is we have 1 week. We have about 2.5 hours worth of gameplay to try and actually defeat Dol Amroth, and that is the plan. Whether or not we'll be able to do that, I doubt, unless we can get regicide, to be honest. Our primary forces, as you've just seen, are Aldemir coming across the straits of the Anduin. He's very determined. Look at him, very determined. Very strong brow. Good sign in a young man. We've got Ar-Gimilcad the Great, who now leads his mighty faction, and his name will surely go down in history as the greatest Númenórean king ever. Ar-Pharazôn may have commanded great respect and great power, but he did not achieve what he set out to achieve, and instead doomed his entire nation. And whilst we rightly revere him as a king who took that leap of faith, ultimately he brought downfall and destruction to our people, and he must be remembered in part as a bit of a failure. Heresy aside, I appreciate what I've just said is bordering on heretical. But Ar-Pharazôn fundamentally did not do what he said he would do. Ar-Gimilcad set out goals, and he's achieved them, and thereby making him the greatest commander in our people's history. His sons have fought well. Gimilzor lives on where Gimilthon does not, but they live on in honor and bravery and respect. Ar-Pharazôn's children are forgotten to the annals of history. We do not know their names, if he had any at all, which I don't think he did, but he must have had, because otherwise this whole storyline didn't work. But no, you can be related to a king, can't you? You can be a cousin of a king, or even a Elendil. Even Elendil was only marginally related to the royal line, enough to give him royal blood, but he wasn't like the brother or the son of the king or anything like that. He was barely related to Ar-Pharazôn, and yet he was then the rightful ruler of our people. But those days are long gone. And Elendil was never the rightful ruler of our people. He was a usurper. And they followed him misguidedly so. Rather than seek out their brothers in the south, they followed this pretender to the Númenórean throne. How dare they? I wonder if the UI has been put in for the way stations yet. I did have a little look over the changelog over the past few days, because I'm going to do a developer diary before the Reunited Kingdom starts. So at some point over the next 2 weeks, you will get a developer diary. I don't know when I'll do it yet, but I always enjoy developer diaries. They're one of the few remaining videos that I have there's no ho-hummery about them. And that's not an official term, but it's one I like to think of myself. And ho-hummery is when you're thinking of doing something and you think, oh, I don't really want to do that. And it's like, oh, ho-hum. And it means, I'm going to do it anyway, but I don't really want to. But there's no ho-hummery with developer diaries. I enjoy developer diaries. Always did. They were always the highlight of this whole thing. Being the mod leader and doing YouTube, developer diaries were the way. They were fun.
Yes.
I enjoy these campaigns, don't get me wrong. And I don't have ho-hummery for these. But every now and then you do have a day where you just say, oh, I just fancy a day off, you know. And I tend to take those days off. That's always been the ethos. I've said that many, many times. But with a developer diary, there is never a risk of, oh, when can I squeeze that in? It's always, oh, I'm looking forward to that. Like, it's not about squeezing it in. It's about making time for it. There's a distinct difference. Oh, will you bugger off, High Elves? All I want to do is go onto that island. You're just going to sit there, aren't you? You're going to sit there and stop my dreams coming true.
Your will, my lord.
All right, then. Oh, and there's another bloody admiral
That's
up there
right,
as well.
fool. It's an enemy ship.
And the problem is we don't get very many ships. Ah, no, we don't want them. The Ar-Adûnâim units are the absolute backbone of our army, and they just perform so well. Karar and Gimilthon. Yeah, you can chuck in some more. We're going to train an army that will cross onto the Isle of Tolfalas. Oh, you're not too good to be sitting in there. Much too good. Nope. Definitely not. Can you give me some ships? Yes. And when you're at that point, you can give me some ships. The problem, though, is you can't merge all these ships into one large ship army, which is what you'd want to do. Why are there pikes all the way up there as well? Let's get them out of Dirthang. Is that because you can train them? Yeah. Bizarre. The oddities we endure. Nicolas Cage has locked down Gellerbrin. No problems there. And we've got Tariq Magan over there. And in Dantalad... Oh, we're headed up by 2. That's nice. Arnuban and Eldamir. So, as you can see, Dol thought better of it. They came, and then they thought, oh, no, actually, no, we better not. We'd better give that one a miss. Can you give me anything that will increase your health? Shipwright, maybe? Oh, chicken farming, number 1. Why am I bothering with that? We're never going to upgrade that in 2.5 hours of playtime. Silly, really. Silly. Hockey. Can anyone else move?
Your orders, my lord. Yes,
no.
my lord.
Bum. Oh, Belenil. You don't look like you've got conviction. Oh, the Italian music's playing in the background. Oh, from when last we spoke, I had my next Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Tournament of the Swan game to fight. And you'll be pleased to know that Kaelin and I, not Kylan, Kaelin and I were successful, and we now proceed to semi-final number 1. What are we up against here, though? Because this is an Age of Empires. We got some units... And we've got some other units. You'll note that there isn't really anything of note in any of these armies. They've all got a lot of armor, but those Nimrodel Mariners are probably the best thing.
Muster your courage,
I will cover the tournament on the channel, but my plan was always kind of to cover it when it was over. So I'll gather together all the recordings, and I'll give you like little tidbits and tasters of the earlier games, and then I do want to cover it all. With the Warhammer tournament, I will probably only cover the final. If I can get the recording for that, I'll give you the final. And I don't think the Empire tournament has even kicked off yet, which is fine, because then we have the tournament spread out over a while, which is better. Healthier on my bank balance as well. Right, they attacked us. They're coming from here, and their reinforcements, one presumes, are going to come in from this corner, because that's where we were sieging the town, are we not? So we want to pull back to this hill here. And have them all out in front of us. We've only got one archer unit, so archers aren't really going to matter here.
The enemy have brought up
Ah,
more
they
men.
did come in from that corner. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's line up. Let's take the Narduzagar in the line. We're going to form what is to be our primary defensive line. And then you, and you go on that left-hand side and deal with the reinforcements. And you go on this side. Speed her up. Now they have got some cavalry. And they will charge into us with them. How woefully outnumbered are we? I didn't take note of that. Take stock. Take stock, my lad. See with your own glorious eyes. Let's just have a quick look at those. Oh, they come all the way from Minas Morgul. Nice. And they are looking nice. Oh, very nice. Alright. Alright. Stand your ground. You are soldiers of the fallen empire of Numenor. And though our homeland may be beneath the sea, our pride and dignity lives on. These traitors like to think that the blood of Numenor flows true in their veins, but we will give them a show that like they've never seen. We will remind them that compared to us, they are as a gnat on our sleeve. And the poor blood of the middlemen runs through their veins. We are pure, and they will lose. Cavalry, prepare. Sprint into position. Oh, they're going to give us a good old javelin blow before they actually move in. And here comes the others. Getting ready. Is that our general? Yeah, keep yourself just protected enough that you can't be charged into by cav. That'd be good. They will fear us. Shouldn't charge you in. You're going to lose a few. 152. And the cavalry, you just entirely ignore them. Just run through the gap that's left. You absolute morons. Holy hellfire. No, we only lost about 9. Cavalry is so useless at that. You tell them to attack this target, so they run to where they were when you told them to attack. Right, yeah, brilliant. That helped absolutely no one. Good move. Excellent show,
The battle is
chaps.
very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Morons. A good workman does not blame his tools, but a good workman, something that the parable doesn't tell you, although it's not a parable, is it? It's just a life lesson. Something that I'm going to call it a parable. Something it doesn't tell you is that a good workman has bloody good tools, and that's why he's a good bloody workman. So he doesn't have to blame his tools. Alright, charge out. What's that over there? Amrothian squires. Why aren't they hitting us? Those guardsmen are really out for our blood, aren't they? What are we on? 3 place 17. Nicely done. This is... oh, Royal Swan Guard. Catch them, catch them, catch them, catch them. Hit the Amrothian squires head on. Oh, the cavalry are thundering back and forward, back and forward. We have a distinct advantage because we are skilled against mounts. And we're like twice their stats. And that alone should be enough for us to take the win. Right, charge into those guardsmen, hit them head on. The Swan Guard are going down. The enemy general will no longer be a threat to our people. He will no longer harm Numenor's fortunes. Let's get our cavalry to deal with the mariners while we are able.
The enemy only half the enemy force remains.
Yes, cowards flee before us. Away, away with all of you. You have been found wanting on several occasions. This is but the cherry on top of the wanting cake. You don't need to move. How many have we lost? 10%. Oh dear, that's not good stats for them, is it? Alright, let's speed it up as we're into the mow down all of the running away unit stage. Although that said, those ones are Amrothian pikes. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Moving off. We haven't had to use Gimmelthon. He's not been endangered. Right, all of you go over there and hit those squires, because those are archers, aren't they? Yeah, so our archers are going to have to deal with this. Our cabs are... How have we not managed to lose a single condom guardian? Oh, that was a wonderful little charge. Well done. Well done.
It's time to press the attack.
Right, 30 of you. Let's get you away from those pikes. Thunder into our enemy. Right, Gimmelthon, let's get you out and involved, I suppose. Oh, no, 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 no. They're going to charge into you. Oh, when you put him in shield wall, Gimmelthon goes at the back. Oh, this is something I wish I knew many years ago. And the enemy general just killed himself charging into my shield wall, would you believe? Oh, Belanil, I'm so sorry. I know no man should go that way. No one likes to see it. And wasn't it interesting in the very last Ar-Adûnâim episode that I was moaning that the enemy generals survived to the end? And then, completely of his own volition, he's killed himself in the first charge. I mean, I shan't moan. Let us not look a gift horse in the mouth. Would you like a fun historical tidbit? Horses are judged on their health and well-being by the state of their teeth. And the phrase to look a gift horse in the mouth comes from that exact thing. Because to judge whether or not a horse is nice and healthy, you would look in its mouth and judge its teeth. And so to look a gift horse in the mouth is to take something that has been freely given and to judge it. And that is where the saying comes from. In essence, it means you should take what is given, and you should take what is given with good grace. You shouldn't question it, nor judge it. But in modern times, where horses are owned by probably less than 1% of the planet's population now, there are obviously some countries that still rely on horses, but I can't imagine that most of the population uses them. That phrase has rather lost meaning. And indeed, that phrase is only really in the English-speaking world, I should imagine. Other countries and cultures will have their own idiom. That's the phrase, isn't it? It's an idiom. They'll have their own idiom, meaning take gifts freely and take them in good, with good manners. But here, certainly in England, barely anyone has a horse nowadays. It's funny how a horse used to be an absolute staple of life in most of Europe. And now, in most of Europe, to own a horse signifies a significant amount of wealth, whereas previously to own a horse would just be a standard thing. A horse may be the only thing you owned. Whereas nowadays, if you have a horse, you automatically it is assumed you have some good money, because they are so costly to upkeep. Anywho, enough of the horses. I don't own a horse, if you're interested, but my previous work colleague, and kind of boss, but bosses don't really work the way you think in solicitor firms. But anyway, my previous boss, she owned a horse, and she used to participate in events with them. Why haven't we won? Who is still fighting? Ah, there we go.
Foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Only 82%. Right, everything that's not... Oh, look how many guardsmen are going there. Let's get those. That's got to be the bulk of the remaining lot, isn't it? I am so excited for Warhammer 3. I've been watching those ogre trailers just on and off, and they got me so pumped in a way I didn't think. I won't want to play the ogres, God no, disgusting verminous filth. But it makes me want to play Kislev or Cathay even more.
This is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals.
Oh, Gimmelthon killed one person. Oh my word. Just pause briefly for a moment in your day and just think about what that actually means. Gimmelthorn was only engaged in a single skirmish in that entire battle. And that one skirmish was him defending against the charge of our enemy. And in that battle, and in that skirmish, our enemy died. Meaning that the single kill that Gimmelthorn got... No, now I'm thinking it can't have been, because there are more Royal Swan Guard left that than came. But maybe not. I think that was just Belenil. In any event, the Golden Sword, Naru and Aru, Royal Knights, absolutely storming to the top of the leaderboard. 307 kills. Give them a round of applause. Fantastic. Where are we getting all these Golden Swords from? We don't... Oh, trade with Rune. Trade with Rune. Definitely. Such cheery music. I love this song. Fear No Darkness, this is called, by Adrian von Ziegler. I've mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again because it's such a cracking tune. And it does fill one with a sort of a courage, a strength, a vigour. 3,691. Oh dear, Dol Amroth. Would that I were strapped for cash, your people could be saved. But alas.
Glory, honour, victory!
And like that, another who stood against me falls.
My lord, our courage and honour have conquered.
Damn bloody right. Oh, we've got the plague. Oh, it's always nice when that bug comes through. The plague is not supposed to be able to exist in Divide and Conquer or Third Age Total War. It was cut from the game's files. But as you can see, the plague is currently affecting one of our cities, which means that despite the best intentions of two different modding teams, it is simply impossible to eradicate plague from Medieval 2 as a game. Which must mean that somewhere along the line it is just hard-coded, and the things that we removed are possibly the chances of getting the plague. So we removed the multipliers, or the... is the only thing I can think, and that plague always, no matter what, once a city reaches a certain size, it would seem that plague always has a risk of breaking out. And all we've done is remove the, as I say, the multipliers that say, if this event happens, then plague is increased by a 10% chance of plague, or whatever. And I assume then that's all we've done. But I don't know. But Third Age Total War tried to eradicate the plague, and they failed.
Your orders.
Lord Gimmel's the aggressive, then get the bloody hell out of there, because you're going to die of plague. And we know, and thank you, is being my answer to that.
Will keep vigil over the
I don't really care what happens with this. We're at that stage now, sadly. New conquered towns just are of no importance.
Yes.
Now, we don't really have enough to move on Amrun, but I just don't want him in there, because he'll die if he goes in there. Oh, West Nosgiliath got a military dockyard. But still can't train a single... Oh, of course, because it's in the region where ships aren't allowed. Yeah. East Nosgiliath getting very large. Oh, Callanhad, you built something. I didn't even notice what that was. I wasn't even paying attention. An armourer. We could get a dockyard for trade. Not really worthwhile. Again, why am I worrying? Why are we bothered? We're not going to be back here before the end. Numenor's glory finally has a mason tool. Damn right, Numenor's glory. I do like to continue with my empire management, though. I don't like to just say... Because if you are just going to say, oh, it's going to end in 3 episodes, so I'm not going to bother doing anything anymore, you might as well just quit now and just have a week off. But that's just folly, isn't it? We've got to kill Dol Amroth, and I'd like to do the little bits and bobs on the way to that. Yeah, go down that line. Nice. Alright, Gondor don't have enough strength to attack me, as you can see, and that really is their last city. Isengard have taken everything else. I think we should probably try and ally with Isengard, just so that we don't have the risk of them attacking us.
At your service.
Are you really my only diplomat? Oh,
Your
wow.
orders. Yes, my lord.
Well, who are Isengard? So I'm attacking Gondor, who are enemies of Isengard. Isengard are allied to Dunland, who have no bearing on me, and Dol... Oh, bugger, no, we're never going to be able to ally them because we're at war with Dol Guldur.
Your orders, my lord.
So be it.
To battle. We shall prevail.
We shall prevail.
Yes, my lord.
We shall engage.
Oh, we could attack straight away.
We shall prevail.
With only one siege,
Yes.
with only one catapult. I don't think that's worth it. But we want all the ships that we can get to clear these bloody ships out of our way. We've got a general that we can take. Is there someone knocking around up here? Oh, there's someone in Tadweath there, isn't there? Ah, but it can't have any units, that's why. You could take me. You can give me 2 units.
Your will, my lord. Orders.
And then Avaloban, who spent most of his life sitting in Durthang, ever since we took that. He's been there ever since. He's finally going to get out onto the field. He's going to be like, there's some mistake here. I'm a governor. Governed all my life. Never raised a blade in anger, I have. Well, you're going to now, Avaloban, so pull your blade out from whatever soft and cushy pillow you rested on.
Yes,
and prepare it for battle.
Yes.
Right, Gimmelzor, your name's...
Honor.
Clues in the name, so push straight down.
Command.
Hit the buggers. That means that Dol Amroth are down to this one, this one, this one, and then, of course, Tolfalas.
Splitting the troops.
As someone said, I will get the Tom Bombadil jingle for the Reunited Kingdom playthrough. I'll get that one working. And we'll take it away from there. Oh, dear. I do enjoy the Ar-Adûnâim. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Ar-Adûnâim. Or I should include the H in that word. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Ar-Adûnâim. And I shall continue to enjoy the campaign right up until this coming weekend. Hopefully Isengard do leave us alone, but there's a really strong chance they will kill us. Because A, we're the player, and it seems that the game is always wired to want to kill you, because you are playing it. And B, we are allied to their enemies, and it is therefore only natural that they would seek to attack us, to support their allies.
Your will, my
Let us hope
lord. Your will, my lord.
that we don't
Joining forces.
have to fight.
Your orders, my lord.
The Tolfalas army takes
Assembling
shape.
a mighty host.
Assembling a mighty host. How many more units have you got coming? 4 from Karlonde. And that's your lot.
Yes,
1,
my
2,
lord.
3, 4. So let's get some siege. So 1, ideally 2, if we can get 2. We can take 2 of them then. Is that really the only place that has a catapult? No, there we go. So that's 2 catapults. I would quite like to take them and them, actually. So if we just take 2 catapults and call it a
Your
day.
orders, my lord.
Ah, no, and then that unit can go. Where did we accidentally train Marines from?
As you wish.
Yes, my lord.
And... No, we don't need the ballistic crew because it's a custom settlement, isn't it? Yes, the 2 catapults will be enough. Yep, we haven't got towers. We haven't got unending towers to destroy, so that'll be fine. Oh, Karasast upgraded. Ah, yes. This is an Ar-Adûnâim city. Fantastic. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Catapult. Just chuck it all on. We've got enough money. Oh, jeez. We make an obscene amount of money. Obscene, I say. Obscene. We are well defended in our heartlands. We've upgraded both the Osgiliath. We're just... Gondor is living its glory days anew under the rightful rule of our people. And I, for one, welcome it. You should build that as well, actually, because if Dol Guldur do stick their heads in, I'd like you to get more units. Better units as a bare minimum. Right, there's this fellow over here, Nairion. He could possibly attack us, which they might do. The AI sometimes does that. It's silly, it's stupid, and it's moronic, but they do it because they, unfortunately, are, as we've discussed at length, silly, stupid, and moronic. Is it really quicker to go all that way? Can you just simply not walk through this hill? No, you can't. So I've deliberately increased your time.
Tomorrow.
Sorry, old chum. 5 turns on that, 7 turns on that, and then Amrun and our fleet. Pelage is building its ships. Tirithoros is building its ships. Ostathiel is building its ships. Chuck in another Belukazgar. It's a shame that your dockyards are on that northern side. Oh, look how cool our dockyard looks. This is an unupgraded dockyard, and this is a top-tier dockyard. Very, very cool. So you didn't even know that the Elite Dwarf made those edits, did you? Well, now you do. Absolutely extensive. The Elite Dwarf is almost single-handedly to blame. Juxtaposition. It's not juxtaposition, but he's to blame for the bringing to life of Middle-earth in the way that Divide and Conquer has. So many campaign strategy models are directly because of him, and we have him to thank. Expertise knows no bounds, and his models look fantastic. I absolutely love it. And it's just little things like that. And just the changes to the resources around the world as well. So instead of just a giant apple on your campaign map, you get an actual orchard. And all right, you can't... Some of them at an absolute glance, you don't really know what you're looking at. But just look in this area on the... Just to the north and the west of Karasast at the moment. There's 3 villages there. There's an orchard to the far west. There's a vineyard. You can see them all. You know instantly what they look like. Away to the north on the mountains are our mines, which unfortunately are as big as also our beacons. You can see the beacon there between the 2 rivers, just north of Karasast, or northwest of Karasast. Yeah, welcome to the family, friend. Oh, no. Are you dead yet? He's absolutely going to die, isn't he?
Honor.
Oh, he's a harsh ruler. He humiliates peasants. Well, look at him. Of course he does. There's not a good bone in his body. He's the kind of man that were he born today, he would probably have spent much of his life in prison or had been killed. It's funny, isn't it? Go back 500 years and there'd be traits in people that you really look for, you really respect. Bloodthirsty, someone who's not afraid to fight and die in battle, someone who scorns his fellow man. Move forward 500 years, and if you met someone like that in today, you just think, Jesus, this guy. Holy hell, how are you not in prison, mate? What is going on here? It's funny how the times change. You can build me something, Ethering. You don't like me at the moment, so let's chuck in things that make you like me. Have that and that. An inn gives a little bit of happiness. Yes. And then you can make everything else cheaper after that. Dantalad has got some chicken farming in and is now going for the protection, as we had hoped. Cherethoros got the highest here. Oh, get a dockyard up. Dark Temple. Yeah, just build everything. We haven't been attacked, which is interesting to me. What then are our enemies doing? Our enemies are doing?
Your orders, my lord.
I'm surprised Gobel Mirlond is going to fall in 4 turns. Ah, Tirithride's their capital city. And does not house... Oh, Tirathai are wardens. Those would be the last Tirathai are wardens that they could ever train, because they only come from Dol Amroth, and that has now been held by us for so long that 53% of its people recognise us as the rightful rulers. That's a nice stat. Very nice stat. Right, how's the Navy coming along?
Ships ready.
Admiral Salazar, you're a little trapped there, aren't you? But I think the reinforcing Navy is on its way. You're good to go. Where's my catapults? Catapults take 3 turns to train.
Yes, my lord.
What? Why do they take 3 turns to train? Oh, and you can get 2 more. Yes, please. Yes, please. We're going to have a mighty navy. We're going to need a mighty navy because we've got to kill these 2 elven forces. Now, you've got 1 more turn until your ships are done. You've got 1 more turn until your ships are done. So in a turn, the southern fiefs will send what navies they've produced. You can build so many buildings. Wow. Just queue it all up. What the hell? Get it queued. Get it queued. Get it queued. Etherland? We can't do anything unique with Etherland. It's not of all that much use to us. Do note that when you build a building which has a cost or a time reduction, it will not affect the very next building in the line, but it will affect the ones after it. So once you are swimming in money, as we now are, and its money is just no longer an object, you can just queue up after it. It won't matter. You'll lose the time and the benefit on that one building alone, but when it just doesn't matter like this, it just doesn't matter, does it? So queue to your heart's content. Now, speaking of queuing to one's heart's content, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to end the episode. So that wonderful little tangent there into how I'm going to end is where we leave today. So we have one more normal episode to which I will do the final introduction for the Ar-Adûnâim, because I don't really want to do it for the live stream, because then you just have to sit and watch me read a screen for 5 minutes. Whereas if I do it for a recording, I can put some pictures up behind it. So that will be in the next one as well, and we shall say farewell to the Ar-Adûnâim with that intro.
Yes, my lord.
And thereafter, this Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, I will start recording the final Ar-Adûnâim episode. And it is my hope that by that time we will have Dol Amroth done and dusted. We might have to attack Tirithried, I think, but in the hour and a half that we get for the live stream, I think we can mop up what is left. Harad might take Amrûn for us, which would be very helpful. So our main focus is probably going to be, and the final battle will almost certainly be, the Isle of Tolfalas. But until then, my friends, do have an absolutely splendid week. Stay tuned this week as well for the last pre-recorded Battle for Middle-earth episode is this week. So I recorded it 4 weeks ago, something like that, and it's now going to come live to you all. That's on Tuesday as normal. And then I will also do the final Taurox episode this week. So if you haven't been interested in anything about Warhammer 3, but you want to see what a Warhammer 2, scripted battle looks like, then the final episode this week will contain just the final scripted battle for the Taurox campaign. No campaign management, nothing. It's just going to be a video of that battle. However long that battle takes is however long the video will be. And then we'll live stream on Saturday. But until then, have a smashing week. Have a wonderful day, and Havar Naden Pedimad Melonin, and farewell.